Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Aston Williams coming to you live again with another amazing podcast episode of The Melanated Traveler. And y'all already know The Melanated Traveler, we try to inspire the African diaspora to travel the world. Point blank, period. And we got another amazing guest in the building. I have Miss Emilia Joao, aka the German Traveler. First and foremost, like I told you in the studio before we got in here, I'm a huge fan. I love your content. I love what you're about. I love what you inspire people to do. I just want to give y'all a little background on Amelia before we get started. She's from Angola. She's an Angolan traveler. She grew up in Germany. And one thing I told her that I could commend her on, and something that I cannot do, she's an educator. She's an educator. God bless you. God bless you. We
Thank
need
you.
more educators, but it's not me. God bless you. But she inspires people to travel the world, especially women. That's something that's very important, especially women. So, Miss Amelia, aka the German Traveler, I want to welcome you to the show. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We gonna dive right into it. We're gonna dive right into it. I want to get into the mindset of Miss Amelia. What inspired you to say, you know what? I want to start traveling the world. I want to see what's else out there.
So when I was living in Angola as a kid, I had like family in Germany, and my uncle used to come from Germany to visit us, and I was like, oh, how does Germany looks like? And later on, I moved to Germany, and my uncle was traveling to China and England, and I was like, oh, I'm dreaming about to go to these places too and see how it was like. So he was my inspiration.
Perfect, perfect. You know, a lot of people talk about South Africa. A lot of people talk about, Kenya and all these other places like Angola. Like one of the things that really I guess you could say truly like inspired me about you was that part was different. Like, cause everybody promotes South and East, but let's put Angola on the map for a second. Let's talk about Angola. Um, what was it like just from a cultural perspective, because I think people, especially people in the diaspora, and we talked about it offline, like are interested to know, like, how's Angola, and what's some things that you know um key points that people should come and visit Angola as well, and not bypass that country and go somewhere else.
So I was in Angola just last week. I came back from Angola and I really liked like the culture, the food, the people, and just a lot of things to see in Angola. And I was kind of sad that so many people never have been to Angola and public transport in Angola is not the best. So if you go to Angola, you have to hire a driver to show you around, but there's a lot of beautiful places to discover in Angola. Like Cabo Ledo, I have been there. It was wonderful. It was very beautiful.
Perfect, perfect. And what's like a traditional? I'm interested. I know other people are interested too, because I see the chat. What's a traditional dish in Angola that people should try?
Oh, this is a good question. I I don't really know, but we eat a lot of rice and beans and
Mm.
chicken, and we have like I eat fumbwa. It's like vegetables with peanut sauce. It's something I eat, and we eat a lot of meat in Angola.
Okay, okay. Well, you know what? It sound like we similar, because I'm from New Orleans. I'm from Louisiana, and we
Yeah,
eat a lot of beans, a lot of rice. So it's interesting to
me
see the
too.
like the similarities. To see the similarities. So how was it? How was it growing up in Germany? Like how was that?
It was crazy.
Do you
Growing
speak
up,
fluent German?
yeah, I speak German.
Oh wow.
So growing up in Germany was a little bit difficult for me because, as you can see, I have a dark skin, and some students in the school were saying like I'm not German because of my skin color.
Hmm.
And then when I went to Angola, I found out I'm also not Angolan to them because I'm too German. So it was always a fight between my identity, like I'm a German, I'm Angolan. So this was a little bit difficult for me. But now that I'm older, I see myself as an Angolan, but my mindset is more German, and I take the best of both worlds. So growing up in Germany was finding my like challenging of finding myself.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And so, like, what's some things like in Germany? Because a lot of people talk about Frankfurt, but you grew
Yeah,
up in Berlin, right?
exactly.
So what about Berlin that people shouldn't overlook? Like, what are some hidden gems? What are some recommendations that you may have? And I know it's a lot because I hear Berlin is a party city. I hear it's a party city.
Yeah, the nightlife in Berlin is great.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, if you come to Berlin, you'll be like, where should I go this night? Where should I go next night? There's always something to do here. And I love the sightseeing. Like when you walk around onto the Linden Street, you can see like the Brandenburger Gate or the TV tower. There's a lot of things to see just by walking distance. So it's a really great city to just discover everything while walking. And
Wow.
also, yeah, and also we have a lot of different food. And in Berlin, a lot of people from all over the world meet each other. So it's a mix of everything. And what I love about Berlin is the people just wear the way they want. Like some people wear short dresses, all the belly outside, pink hair, green hair. Nobody cares here.
You know that kind of reminds me of a place in America called Austin. So Austin, the slogan in Austin is "Stay weird." That's the slogan of the city in Texas. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what's like I guess you could say what's your go to spots? What's some of your spots you like to go to in the city?
I like to go to Alexanderplatz, where the big TV tower is, because there's like places to eat, places to go shopping, and just to relax. And sometimes there are people singing and dancing there. So the vibe is always so happy. So I like to be there.
All right, perfect, perfect. So
Yeah.
you talked about one of the things that I see you promote is solo travel, right? So
Yeah.
when it comes to solo travel, what are some of the myths that you can like break? And when I say myths, then I'm gonna give you examples, and then I'll get your feedback. Traveling is expensive. Traveling by yourself is dangerous. Why are you going to this country by yourself? You know, how can you break these myths? Because you've been to a lot of places, and some of these places we're gonna hit on for sure. I mean, I've seen you've been to Italy, you've been to Kuwait, you've been to Sri Lanka, you've been to Malaysia,
Oh,
Thailand,
wow.
Laos,
I've
Japan,
seen
like
all this.
Australia, and we're gonna dive into Australia too because it's the first time on the show that we talked about Australia. But give us some feedback. Like when people throw all these things out there about solo travel, especially being a woman, especially, what are some things that you could just break, just shatter right now, just shatter these myths? Like let's start off with the first one. Travel is expensive.
No, travel is not expensive. It's just about priority. Some people prefer to buy shoes and bags, and I prefer to save my money for traveling. So for me, traveling is an investment. So if you would buy like less of shoes or bags or clothes in general, you could have more money for traveling. And there are also a lot of websites where you can travel for cheap, like you can do volunteering with workpackers, or you can just travel to countries which are cheaper like than your home countries. For example, I'm from Germany. So when I travel to a place like Guatemala, which is cheaper than Germany, I will have more for my money. So it's also the choice of the destination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
traveling doesn't have to be expensive. It's like, what I tell myself all the time is that every country has people who have a lot of money and people who have less money. So how do the people with less money live in this country?
Right.
It has to
Exactly.
be a way for them to be able to live there.
Exactly.
So I try to travel like the locals. I don't go to the expensive resorts or the five-star hotels. I prefer to travel like the locals live, buying the local markets, staying in the local areas. And nowadays we have like the internet, we have Instagram, you can do researches and see what other people experience and where safe, where dangerous. Like nowadays with Google Maps and internet, everything is so much easier for us to do the comparison between the places.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And yeah,
No, you're absolutely right. And I know one thing that I use that's very simple is Google Flights. I mean, I use Google Flights. I go to
yeah.
Explore and I just start looking out around the world and trying to find best prices. I guess looking at all these countries that you've
Yeah.
been to, what 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 drives you to say, you know what, I want to go to Malaysia, I want to go to Thailand? Do you pick the countries or you let the countries pick you based on how you travel hack?
So, Skyscanner?
Yeah, yeah, Skyscanner is awesome.
You can come Skyscanner, you can put like, for example, Berlin to anywhere, and then it shows you the cheapest destination from Berlin. Like when I was in Italy, I chose like Milan from everywhere, and it showed me Berlin. So I got a flight to Berlin for less than 30 euros with my suitcase.
Wow.
Suitcase. Yeah, you can find trips like this. and you have to be just like flexible with your time of traveling. So you have to be like when you find a cheap flight, you have to be ready to fly, not being like I can just fly from this day to that day. Then it's gonna be difficult to find flight deals.
Hmm.
But yeah, you have to be flexible and open with your destination. And we are so lucky with social media now, like people like me, we share our travel hacks, our travel experiences. So the people just have to follow our content and they will know where to go, where to look for flights, where to stay. And to your question about Thailand and Sri Lanka and the other places, so this Southeast Asia is like kind of basic, and a lot of travelers do this, go to Thailand and to Vietnam and all these places. And I was like, once in a lifetime, I want to visit these places too, just because everybody else went there.
Hmm.
But I have to say, it was worth it.
Thailand. Actually Thailand's on my list in November. I'll be in Thailand in November.
Where?
Yeah, yeah. I
Where
can't
in
wait.
Thailand?
Yeah, Phuket, and well, I'm flying. I'm gonna fly into Bangkok, but Phuket, and Pattaya.
Ah, nice.
And Pattaya, and man, we gonna dive into the. You know what? Let's talk about Australia. Now, you did some work in Australia, right?
I'm not in Germany right now, but I was doing the work and travel in Australia.
Okay, all right. Look, let's talk about Australia because I promise you, that's like not on people's radar, right? Let's talk about Australia. First of all, like what? Um, I hear you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh because you probably seen it. I heard they have insects that are as big as us down
Oh
there.
my
Spiders
goodness.
and flies the size of my head. Jesus Christ. Just the species. I hear they got some stuff down there. It bites you once you're done.
Yeah, I heard this people were going to Australia and I was so scared. But I've been in Australia for 10 months and I have seen none of this.
Come on.
So really, I have seen none, not even a snake. Like only at the zoo, but in the street or outside, I haven't seen it. But in Australia, they're like big birds and they will attack you when you're riding bicycle. But like when you're riding a bicycle close to the tree, then
Yeah.
this big black bird will fly over you and you will be like losing yourself. It's gonna be like flying over you and you're gonna be faster and it's gonna follow you. This was so scary.
Jesus. Oh, that's some scary. So what parts of Australia were you in? Did you have a chance to see Sydney and
Of
some of the other cities?
course.
How
Of
beautiful
course,
is Sydney?
Sydney is one of the most beautiful cities ever.
Wow.
After being in Australia, I was like, Germany is so ugly. So Australia is very beautiful. I have been to Sydney and to Brisbane and Melbourne.
Hmm.
And I liked Sydney the most, but Melbourne and Brisbane was kind of more beautiful. It's just like London, but different. It has the London vibes and the free pools in the city, a lot of green. I really love Brisbane. And Melbourne is like a city like Berlin, a lot of parties, a lot of young people. So it depends, but of course, Sydney is the city where everybody wants to go with the
Yeah,
opera
that's what's up.
house. Yeah,
That's what's
the
up. What's
opera,
what's some landmarks? What's some landmark places that people can check out in Sydney?
the opera house is
Okay.
world famous.
All right.
They also,
I'm gonna have to.
yeah.
I promise you. God say the same. In a few years, I'll be in Australia. It's like if I had to rank it top 100, it would be 100 places that I'm looking to go. But you know what? Listening to you make me change my mind. So look, how was the food? How was the food? Let's talk about that. How was the food?
I have to be honest, the food is not the best in Australia. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm,
I cannot lie about this. The food is very dry and it's not the best.
yeah. Wow.
I was
And what's
preparing
the
for
flight? How long did it take you to get there?
I went there from Hawaii, so I was not even in Europe, and the flight was around 10 or 11 hours. I don't really remember.
Okay. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's okay from Hawaii, but from Germany to Australia, it's a very long flight. Like you have to change maybe twice or three times,
Mm,
I guess. I never checked for flights from here to Australia because when I was in Australia, at first I went to Asia and slowly coming back to Europe. So, but because the direct flight from Australia to Germany is too long for me.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it just seemed like, what reminds me of Australia is your guy, man, the Crocodile Dundee. Crocodile
Gosh.
Dundee and I forgot the other guy. He died a few years ago, well, a long time ago. A stingray stabbed him. The crocodile hunter. He was from Australia.
Oh,
Yeah, and he got stabbed. The tail of a stingray stabbed him in his chest, in his heart, and he died. Yeah,
wow.
yeah, that's
That's bad.
crazy. That's crazy. So I
Sometimes
mean,
also, yeah,
I wanted to ask you about the beaches there. They say they're some of the most beautiful beaches in the world in
I wanted to
Australia.
say exactly something about the beaches. They're like flags around the beaches,
Hmm.
and you can just they say like you can just swim between the flags and not outside the flag because there can be crocodiles in the water from the beach.
At the beach
Yeah, some of them.
in salt water.
You, I didn't really look at it, but I saw next to the flag saying like crocodiles just swim between the flags.
Oh,
And everybody was just having the time of their lives. They were swimming, they were having fun, and I was like, I don't want to die today, and not in Australia. So,
yeah. You know what? That's a place. That's a place. And I'm normally adventurous. I'm normally a person that jumps in the middle of the sea and without a life vest and swim. And Australia, I'll just swim in the pool. I'll
better.
just swim in the pool. Now, when you talk about the locals, and I heard you say this in the beginning, like you want to immerse yourself in the culture. So I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I would assume you're more of a Airbnb and hostel traveler, or do you prefer hotels? How do you like to travel? Like when
I
it
like to
comes to
stay.
accommodations.
I like to stay in guest house because it's like guest house are more familiar. I don't like to stay like when you're in a hotel, everybody's doing their own thing and everybody's busy, nobody cares about you. But in the
Hmm.
guest house, they be like looking for you and you do things together. So I like it. I also like staying in hostels and some hostels have like single rooms. So you can just be in your room whenever you want. And when you feel like bored, you just go outside to the kitchen and talk to the other people, to the other travelers. So yeah,
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah,
yeah.
me personally, I'm more of an Airbnb type of guy. I like Airbnbs. I don't really like hotels. I also like to cook at least one night whenever I'm out the country. At least for one night. You know,
I don't
man,
like to cook.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. But for me, when you talk about the locals, I love to eat food from street vendors, man. I love to support the vendors on the street. That's the best food in my opinion. The best food is on
Then
the
you're gonna
street.
love
You meet the
Thailand.
people where they are.
Yeah, you're gonna
Definitely.
love Thailand. They have a lot of street food. Maybe the best I have seen so far.
Oh, in Thailand?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a dream. It's the
I
main
s-
reason I want to go back there.
okay. Let's dive into it. What made you? First of all, the islands and the beaches are so beautiful. I wanna go to like the James Bond beach whenever they had the movie James Bond. I
Yeah, I
want to
heard
go
about
there,
this one.
but what about Thailand? Just like I know everybody goes there, but what draws people there? Like you've been there, so like share I guess your thoughts on Thailand and kind of not even recommendations, but just your experience in Thailand.
So the things in Thailand are so, like, in my opinion, very cheap. Like sometimes we're ordering food 2 times, 3 times a day. Like for €5, you get like rice with meat and vegetables. And even the public transport, it's very cheap. You can go for 1 hour's drive for less than €10. So we are driving around with taxi and street food is so cheap. You can get so much more for your money. That's what I loved about Thailand. And the people there are so open and so nice. And we get also like a massage for like a full body for less than €10. This
Wow.
is a dream. Like all this massage for like 1 hour and you get it was like maybe 6, 7 euros. I don't really remember, but it was cheap.
Mm.
Even
You know,
traveling
I thought
around,
I thought
yeah.
about a lot of people I don't know them personally, but a lot of people that I know through other people, they actually live in Thailand. Now I see why.
I wanted to live in Thailand too. It's paradise.
Yeah, it is.
It
It is.
is.
Now you got some places on this. You got some countries that we have never discussed, and I want to dive into. Let's shift gears into Kuwait. Like, what made you want to say, you know what? Let
Oh
me let me
my
check out Kuwait.
God.
Like,
It was crazy. So I was first in Dubai, and then I went to Abu Dhabi, and I was like, I still have some days, and I was already twice in Dubai and twice in Abu Dhabi, and I was like, what can I do with the days I have left? I went to Skyscanner and I checked the cheapest flight from Abu Dhabi, and it was Kuwait. So I just booked it.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's my way too. You know, and I hope guys, I hope y'all listening to what she's saying. Whenever you come across a deal and it's affordable and you got it to go ahead on and get it. Go ahead on and lock that deal in because we all know how flights can drastically change overnight.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to be flexible. You gotta be able to hop on these deals ASAP. Gotta hop on them ASAP. So what's some of the things that you experienced in Kuwait, the culture there, um, the customs. Is it certain customs? Did you have to dress a certain way in Kuwait or?
Yes, you have to like wear long clothes, like some people were wearing until here, like covering your body,
Mm-hmm.
and long pants and covering almost everything, but they were not wearing like headscarf, but you notice the women were like covering their body. And what I noticed in Kuwait, like there's a lot of men outside, and you feel like the only people working there are men. So
Mm-hmm.
you go to the shop, you ask for something, you see a man. You walk around the street, you see a man. And also what happens in Kuwait, what never happened to me before, is like, it happened, but not like so much in Kuwait. Whenever I ask someone like, can you tell me how to reach point B from where I'm standing? They were like, where's your husband?
Mm.
So yeah, so they wanted always to speak to a man, and I felt like sometimes they were like kind of ignoring me because I'm a woman. And when I was like, how can I go to the airport? Ask your husband or call your husband, call your father. And I was like, oh wow. And also at the airport when I reached in Kuwait, they were asking me, why are you in Kuwait? Nobody comes to Kuwait. That's what they say. And I was like, that's true. Why am I in Kuwait?
Besides, what
Bali.
what 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 are some tools that you use to that that's an interesting point because a lot of people don't do enough research, right? So, what are some of the tools that you use to ensure that when you go to a country, you know their customs, whether that be
Yeah.
attire for women or men, or how do you find that information?
I go on the German government page and they have information about every single country. So I checked if Kuwait is dangerous for women especially, and things to be careful, the dress code, the culture. So I was doing research about all this, and I found out they're like very peaceful people. It's not dangerous to go there, and as long as I'm like covering my body and I'm respectful, I should be fine there. And I was very fine in Kuwait, and I meet the cutest people ever. My host was so lovely. In the end, she was telling me to stay long, and I didn't want to leave her. She was so cute. And also, I went on a tour with Get Your Guide in Kuwait, and my tour guide was also so lovely. So it was definitely worth a visit. I enjoyed my time in Kuwait. It was better than I expected. And now
Wow.
I have
Yeah.
now I have friends in Kuwait. This is crazy.
Yeah, and that's the difference between a tourist and a traveler because travelers, right? We understand that sometimes the destination may not be the destination that we had intended it to be, but we
Yeah,
still open to people's cultures. We're still open to their food, their way of life, their everything, and that's what separates a tourist person with a tourist mindset and a traveler. So you just
exactly.
hit the nail on the head right there. You just hit the nail
Yeah.
on the head. I gotta bring up look, I gotta bring up Maldives, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing it up, is it really worth the hype? I need to know for myself. Is it really worth the hype? Because
Kuwait
people hype it up. Is it really worth the hype? Maldives. Is it worth the
or
hype?
Maldives? Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Most definitely. Most definitely. And I want to go there again.
Okay, okay. So like, I mean, because it's so small. So like, share your experience with Maldives, like airport, like getting there. Is it an
It
ocean
was,
landing? Like, you
I
know.
was in heaven. I was in heaven. It was great. Like the airport is nothing special. Like I got picked up because I booked like a resort I booked, and then they picked me up at the airport, and I went to my accommodation with by a boat, a speedboat. It was so cool, and I stayed in a beautiful resort, but there were like families and married couple, and I was like a solo traveler, and everybody was looking at me. Why are you
Mhm.
alone here? But it was every day I woke up, I ate my breakfast, went to the beach, went to the pool, had the time of my life. I could forget the whole world. And after I went with the seawater plane, it's called seaplane, right? Seaplane. I went back to the airport. It was an adventure itself. So it was one of my best trips ever.
Always been afraid of an ocean landing. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Wha-
I don't know why. It's just I don't know. Ever since Aaliyah died in that small little
Oh,
plane, I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good.
I love small planes.
But I definitely gotta try that out. How was the? I mean,
Uh,
because it seems
yeah.
like they give you a luxury experience. How do the people treat us there? Right, that's important. How do they treat
They were
us there?
like, I don't know if you know this, but like people in the Maldives are also kind of dark.
Come on, no, I did not know that.
Oh,
No,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're not white. They're kind of dark, a little bit lighter than you maybe. But I was also surprised because when I reached there, I didn't expect the people to look the way they looked. And they were like very respectful to me, very kind, and they were like curious because they were like, "You're from Africa. How is Africa? I have never met someone from Africa." Some of them told me they never met someone from Africa. And I was like, I live in Germany, but nobody cared about Germany. They just wanted to know about Africa.
mm-hmm.
So they were so nice to me. Everybody was so nice there. And they made sure every day I was fine and was taking care of me. And I also met some people. Like I went to the Maldives. I wanted to have a break from Germany, and there were like 80% maybe of the people they were speaking German. And I was like, wow. So everybody was speaking German to me, kinda, except the
So
local.
so Argentina should be on your list because after World War II, that's where a lot of Germans migrated to.
Yeah,
Is in Argentina.
I want to go there, but maybe next year or later some point
Mm-hmm.
because of the
Got you.
food. I heard they have good food. I love food.
You and me both. You and me both. So we gonna hit on a few other places. Like let's dive into
Oh,
Laos and let's
and the water in the Maldives is very, very clear and very, very beautiful.
come on. So I can hear you can see all the way to the bottom. That's
And
good. That's good. So I know if a shark is there. That's perfect.
and the sunset's also perfect. So it's worth a visit.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely gonna have to. I'm gonna have to add that to the list. You know what? That may be a honeymoon spot if I ever decide to get married again.
Just go alone there.
For real. Japan. Like for me, it's something that's very interesting. Being a gamer, like I love Nintendo, so like, I've seen a lot of content creators do the Super Mario Kart experience in Japan. How was your experience in Japan? Like, um, because a lot of people go to China, but we don't really go. You don't really see too many of us go to Japan. Um, when it comes to like cultural experience, and not just Japan, but have you felt in some of these countries where you kind of stick out and people like staring at you, they want to take pictures with you? Was Japan one of those
Uh,
countries?
yeah, they want like to take pictures of you or videos with you, and whenever you take pictures with them, they are so happy and they have smiles all over their places, and they stare at you and they ask if they can touch your hair.
Gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
it's overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, how was the technology innovation there? Like, cause like
In
in America, we so far behind on technology. Like, how was like the infrastructure there? Like with Japan, I know it was top notch.
It was kind of like being in a different world, but I have also been to South Korea and I liked it more there in South
Really?
Korea. Yeah, and I didn't expect that. I was very surprised, but I liked it in South Korea more.
What you
But
like about South Korea?
everything.
Wow. So the food, you got any recommendations for us?
Or I don't remember all the names because I've been to so many places, but I have to check my story highlights or my pictures and I will remember.
Mm-hmm.
But
Got you.
I like the buildings in South Korea so much more than in
Mm-hmm.
Japan. And I was so disappointed about the Shibuya crossing in Tokyo. It's smaller than I expected. So I was disappointed about that. Yeah.
Got you. And when it comes to your content, I want to circle it back. When it comes to your content, why is it so important for you to one promote travel, and then two promote travel to promote empowerment of women?
And it's something about my own culture. I'm Angolan. And women in my country, my culture, in my country also, they, with my age, I'm 30 years old, they already are married, have kids, and it's like everything everybody wants to see about us is us having kids and getting married. And me as an Angolan woman to traveling around the world and going all this adventure all over the world is something very special and unique. And when I travel, I meet like a lot of people from like maybe Nigeria, or Black Americans, but to meet another golden people traveling like me, it's very, very difficult. So that's why I want another Black woman to also travel the world, especially from my own country, and to show them there's so much more in this world than having kids and getting married, and that
Mm-hmm.
we should be open to live the life on our own terms and not what our families want for us or expect for us to do. So this is why I want to motivate women to travel more, especially African women.
Definitely, definitely. When it comes to Africa, and I just honest and to be honest, with respect to Angola, is people just say Africa, right? They don't say like a
Yeah,
specific country. They just say Africa. I want to go to Africa.
yes,
Where is
yeah.
where all these countries,
Exactly.
but when it comes to like the diaspora and like especially Black Americans as well and other diasporas around the world,
Yeah.
why should people want to come to the motherland? What if you could just sum it up in a few sentences or a statement to say why is it important for us to come to the motherland so we can experience some of these countries in Africa to be more empowered?
I feel like the connection you feel with Africa is different. You feel like you just belong to this continent. It's part of you. The people are like you, the culture more like you, and you be like, maybe you're a loud person. You be like, oh, it's something has to do with my culture, with my people, the music, the tradition, the culture. You just feel like you belong to this place. This is how when I'm in Angola, I feel like I just belong here. And also to be in a place where a lot of people are just look just like you, have the hair like you, have all this braided hair, the afro. It makes you already feel like you belong to this place. Like I live in Germany. When I go out, everybody looks different. Nobody looks like me, or maybe a few people. And you notice people. I notice like people are looking at me because I look different. And in Africa, it's like I just blend in. I belong to them, and it's a good
Mm-hmm.
feeling just to be somewhere where you belong to the people. And also, the African mindset is different from the American, maybe, or the German one. And you will notice in Africa, like especially Angola, or maybe I heard from my friends from Ghana and Nigeria, you feel like life is so relaxed, so easy, so simple, easygoing. They don't complicate life so much like in Germany. And it's something good to experience by yourself. You're gonna just be there and be like, oh, you're just dancing here in the street. Yeah, why not? We are alive. So I loved it about Africa.
Yeah, I'm. First of all, I'm telling you, Angola is on my list to visit. I'm telling you right now, it's on my list. But I want to make sure before we wrap this up, I want to make sure that people are able to follow you. We are able to support you. How can we support you? How can we follow you? Go ahead on and blast out all your information.
Like by following me and sharing my content, you can already help me support me. But also, I'm part of World Packers, and in World Packers, we offer like volunteering all around the world to like 140 countries. And I have a promo code, Black German Traveler, where you can get a discount. It's also a way to travel the world for cheaper money because you can volunteer for accommodation. So you have to just take care of your flight or bus ticket, and then you can volunteering and sleep for free somewhere. And some places also offer like food included to the packages, and you can meet you can meet people all around the world and connect with them. And it's a cheap way to travel the world and also do something good for yourself and also for other people's country. You can help building a hotel or helping in the school, helping families while traveling the world. So you can support me by using my codes to enter or using my link with Get Your Guides to book the tours around the world. Yeah.
And I
What's my gift?
got you. I got you. So look, I know things moving fast, guys. I'm gonna make sure I have our information down here in the show notes. I got you. I'm gonna have all your information down there.
Thank
But
you.
Queen, again, Amelia, I really do appreciate you coming on. Sharing those gems about all the countries that you've been through. We dived into a little deeper into some of them, and I really do appreciate you for coming on this platform, sharing your story, inspiring people to travel the world. It really means a lot to have you on this episode today, and I'm truly
Thanks
inspired.
so much.
And just like I tell everybody, you family now, you family. So we gotta make sure we collaborate more in the future. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, true. I was
Yep.
happy when you asked me about this because I was like, I really want to inspire more Black people to travel the world.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's what we about. Y'all already know. Inspiring, sharing tips, sharing destinations, and amazing stories by people that look like us to inspire y'all to travel the world. Y'all already know my motto. I'll see you at the top because the bottom is just too crowded. Peace.
Yes.